Welcome to Bothering the Band. My name is Ryan Bynek. With me, as always, Abigail Ann Levy. We have a great episode today with someone we've been wanting to have on the pod. We're big fans of his music, his podcast, his book. Brett Newski, everyone. Welcome to Bothering the Band, Brett Newski.
Thank you for the hospitality.
Yeah, dude, we're big fans. Coincidentally, this is not made up at all. When we first started this, we're a year and a half, almost 2 years in. You were at the top of our list, man. And then,
really? Okay. Well, cool. I'm very honored.
As fate would have it, the other day got an email with a new song, and we just fired it off and said,
yeah, dude.
And it worked.
Cool. And how is your morale as people? How are your spirits?
I'm great today. Abby, how are you doing?
Happy, tired, but happy.
Good. Okay. Well, this will be good for morale in general, I think. Let's let it rip.
Yes. So we always like to, we're in good morale because we get to hang out with our just favorite musicians. Somehow we just scammed our way into becoming friends with our favorite musicians. So, and comedians too. We like to start this with, how are you and where are you?
I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Milwaukee is, famous for the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Beer, cheese, mass alcoholism, and Jeffrey Dahmer.
I love it. What a great introduction to Wisconsin. And I have this written down. I've spent some time in Wisconsin. When's the last time you went to Wausau, Wisconsin?
Yeah, Wausau. We played there with the Violent Femmes a couple of years ago at a place called the Grand Theater, I think, in Wausau. It's like an old historic theater, but it's an all right town. You know, it's kind of a little bit rough around the edges, blue collar town, but that's how I like my town. So I respect Wausau.
Does it still smell? Last time I was there,
because there's a paper mill. Yeah, there's a paper mill. Yeah, paper mills smell like ass, but yeah, once in a while, it's not like full-time ass smell, but yeah, you do get hit with wafts of it, in doses.
I love Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a great place.
Thanks.
What's the last new music you listened to?
I have been, this is a hard question because I always have to look at my list of records, and I'm actually not wearing pants right now, so I don't want to stand up. I mean, I'm wearing like really short shorts, but it's nothing incriminating, so I'm not going to stand up and go look at my records. Let's see, I've been putting on a lot of Nada Surf recently. We were just on tour with them in Europe, so they're one of my favorite bands. Been spinning them. If you want a great record to make dinner to and just kind of zone out and kind of wind out for the day, there's this really nice band called Bonnie Doon, Doon, Bonnie Doon, and they have a record called Long Wave that I think was recorded on tape, and it's just a lazy kind of slacker, kick your feet up.
Are they from
do nothing and stare at the ceiling?
Are they from Washington State by any chance?
I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, they all kind of look like Kurt Cobain, and only have like 2 shirts each.
I want to say that we had Frank Turner, who we'll get to in a little bit. Common Ground. And I want to say he talked about that band.
Did he?
It's ringing a bell for certain. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I do enjoy Frank Turner, and I'm sure I know he's like real big into like a lot of 90s alternative jangly guitar rock, which makes me happy because that's some of my favorite kind of music,
Oh yes, indeed. That's why we love your music. You're talking to 2 children born and bred of the 90s proudly. So I was rocking out. Aside from rocking out to your music today, I went down Gin Blossom.
Oh, I was just gonna bring up Gin Blossoms. I got made fun of a lot for loving Gin Blossoms. Did that happen to you?
No, man, you can't make fun of the Gin Blossom. I love them. I have a Gin Blossom shirt.
No, I mean I got made fun of a lot for
you did. Gin Blossoms. That's insane. Those people don't know shit.
Well, there's a lot of bullies at our school, and they all listen to Insane Clown Posse and Fred Durst. So they hated me.
That's the first problem right there. And Kid Rock now, probably.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Kid Rock was big. That CD where he just had the middle finger on the CD. Remember that CD?
Yep.
It was all that violent, and that I think that comes around to this Woodstock '99 documentary. I don't know if you've seen that.
No,
Where
it's on the list.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just like a complete breakdown of civilization, and people go nuts, and it gets pretty sketchy and dangerous. But it's like all these bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit and the most angry bands in the world, and they didn't book any like real security. They just hired a bunch of stoner kids to work the security. So it just got to be like really violent and scary, and they like raided all the buildings. I won't give too much away, but it's worth the watch.
I know several people who went.
Yeah, tell me more.
To that. I mean, we were in high school. I wanted to go. I thought it was like really cool. I was like, let me go. My parents were like, no way.
Yeah.
One of them came back with a broken arm, but they had a blast.
Yeah. No, the water supply was contaminated, so no one had like clean drinking water for all 4 days. There was shit in the water.
Oh man, I didn't hear horror stories, but also, they're high school kids bragging, so they only told the good parts.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it was amazing, especially when your life is a little bit on the line. I'm sure that really enhances the fun,
Did we have someone on the pod who was at one of the Woodstock, either 94 or
it was
99?
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold was at 94, right?
Tom Arnold? Oh, doing comedy?
No, he was just there hanging out with like Shannon Hoon.
Okay,
and
nice.
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley, yeah.
Yeah. We had Tom Arnold on the pod. He was loads of fun.
Can you imagine Chris Farley in a mosh pit? Holy Lord.
Oh man, all coked up and
yeah.
Full, he's a famous Wisconsinite.
That's right, Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I have a photo. When I went to Wisconsin, I have a photo of myself in front of his grave. Really young. I was like 17. I'm just like smiling like a dickhead.
So disrespectful. You're going to hell.
Oh, so respectful though. He's my hero. I was gonna say something about Woodstock '99 or something, but I'll say that the kids who wore the Limp Bizkit and Korn shirts in our high school, my high school, we used to, under our breath, of course, would make fun of them by just saying this, like, "Oh man, it must suck to have your stepdad not understand you."
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason people loved Fred Durst,
My stepdad's dick.
Yeah. I mean, it's Fred Durst is like he's an easy guy to make fun of because he's such a douche. But when you see the documentary, it kind of makes sense because some of the like kids are like explaining why they loved him so much because he like didn't look like a rock star and he just looked like a local drunk dad. And I think that really worked for him.
He did it all for the nookie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a great segue here. If you're at a party at your parents' house and a nerdy older stranger corners you in the kitchen, how do you describe to this person what you do?
Like a punisher? You're talking about punishers. You know that term?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, a punisher is someone who just incessantly talks at you and doesn't stop, and then you can't escape, like doesn't give you an out. You don't get to say anything either. You don't get any words in. So I don't know, like it happens a lot on tour. Like I'll try to have the tour manager be like a punisher deflector, and there's like a signal. I'll like scratch my ear or something, and he'll help kind of deflect a punisher. But if it happens at like my dad's party, and it does, that does happen. I don't know. It's like I'm not that good at drinking, so I would say just have an extra rum and Coke, but then I got to fight off the blues the next day. So I don't know. That's a great question. I usually just I don't go to parties. That seems to be the answer.
Yeah. I mean, this comes from I as a, Abby and I are creative people that we do this, we're lucky. And when we meet normal people and we're like, it's just real tough to describe what we do,
Well,
and I can only imagine you do so much. So how do you like, I don't know, whittle it down for these?
Don't you think too, as the older you get, you just get weirder,
Oh, yes.
Embrace it though.
And then it just becomes harder and harder to hang out with like normalcy. It just, because you only get so much of that and you hit your quota probably at like 29. And then, yeah, shit just gets so weird, or weirdoism ensues.
Yeah. Oh man, I can only imagine like the blue collar like people in Wisconsin cornering you, like, "Hey, Brett, what do you do?"
Well, they're kind of the best, actually. Like, all my uncles are like hunting and fishing dudes that just like, go to Friday night fish fries with old shitty bars with muskies on the walls. That's like my whole like family heritage. So that it's great. But yeah, sometimes someone will come up to you and like try to bait you with politics and blame everything on Joe or Donnie. And then they want you to take the bait, and then and then you don't, and then they still punish you anyway and talk about taxes for 9 minutes. And yeah, it's rough.
Oh man, there's you're a comedy guy too, and we have a question about that in a little bit. But do you know who Nate Bargatze is?
Yeah, sure.
Nate Bargatze has a great bit where he's like, "I'm a comic." He's like, "I'm doing okay. I live in a cul-de-sac," and he's like, "These other dads want to be like, so how much is your property taxes?" And he's like, "I have no idea what that means." He's like, 100.
Yeah.
And then he just leaves it. And they're like, "Wow, that's so low." And he's like, "Too low? I don't know, 1,000,000? I don't know."
Yeah. He's big. You kind of have a Bargatze look, actually.
Oh no, he's
Ryan Nazi, point Nazi.
All right. This is an oldie.
You live in Orlando?
Abby and I are from Orlando originally.
Okay. Where do you live, Abby?
Currently, Wyoming.
Wyoming. Holy crap, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've never met a person who lives in Wyoming.
It's not a real place.
Yeah, what do you mean? Oh, okay, you're just trying to get on the nobody's coming here.
Well, I live right near Yellowstone, so I'm in the touristy part of the state, the only touristy part of the state.
Do you see any bears or like spooky giant wild animals?
Mm-hmm. I do. Bears
Spooky
are
bears.
Not bears as much because I don't go to where the bears are, but there's deer and moose and elk.
Any close calls or anything?
Not with bears. I've almost run into a couple of moose a few times.
Damn, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a ghost bear?
No, are they like an albino bear? What is that?
No, like a dead bear that came back to seek revenge.
Oh, I haven't. Have you?
You said spooky and then bear, and that's where my mind went.
There's
okay. I thought that was like a breed of bear or something, like
it is
like a mutant bear.
It is.
No,
just listen to me. There's bears in Canada. I have to look it up. Carry on. We'll come back to the bears in a minute.
I'm always worried in the woods I'm gonna see like a Neanderthal or like a Bigfoot,
Yeah.
No, you can't relate to that. I came up with this.
Yeah.
Did you ask or like? Go ahead.
No. Let's go back to Orlando Magic.
I was gonna say, is that why you asked? You're the only one to. No, B. Beeman said something about it too, but
I like the Orlando Magic because I was obsessed with Shaq and Penny Hardaway as a kid, and then my brother lived there coaching basketball for 2 years, and he just moved to the Czech Republic to run a basketball academy. So I was down there all the time, hoping I'd see Shaq.
Penny's my favorite.
Shaq is top of our list, and honestly, I read an interview with you, top of your list to have on your podcast as well.
Yeah, do you know him? Can you help me?
He's right here. No, but we have tweeted at him a bunch to try to. I bet you. I'll tell you what. If we get him, we'll send you his info, and you do the same if you get him.
Well, if we keep the pod going long enough, we can get him on the way down. When he's really kind of on the way out. Yeah,
I feel as though we should have a plea here to our listeners that if any of you out there know Shaq or have a connection to Shaq, that maybe you should help us get Shaq.
That could be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Scottie Pippen, like some B-list NBA star.
We need someone with music, a music cred.
Yeah. Well, I'm up for anything like that. Anything to get me closer to the NBA.
Are you a big basketball fan?
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes, we are a big bet. We love the hoops.
We have to go back to the Bears momentarily, please.
You found it? Okay.
Because I had already found it, but okay, see this. My roommate's on the couch. I have to be in the living room right now. My room is off limits. So he heard me say Ghost Bears and he knew what I was talking about too. And he just sent me a link to it. But there are bears in Canada. They are called Ghost Bears. I can't say what they're actually called. Kermode bears.
Okay.
Or spirit bears. and they're very light in color. They're not polar bear white, but they're like very light brown.
And you can pet them and stuff.
Probably safe, definitely safe. I would like feed them a bologna sandwich to get them close enough, and then
safety bears.
They're really pretty. Can you see that?
Oh, I've never seen those before. Those are cool. What is it? What do you do? Like in Wyoming, are you in a small town, or what's the style of life like there?
Big city.
No. I work in a town with a population of 10,000.
Okay.
I live in a town with a population of 1,100. So it's very slow and country and outdoorsy.
Did you live in a big city at one point and just have had enough kind of thing?
Orlando.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Tampa. Cool. I also lived in Tampa for a while. So yeah, I came out here for a summer job. Like you can work in the national parks at like the various hotels or restaurants or whatever.
Okay, sure.
It's seasonal work. And so I came out for a summer a really long time ago, and I turned it into a career.
Oh, good. Nice work. Respect.
So thank you.
And Ryan, are you an official Florida man now, or does they ask you that every week?
You know.
I hate that I just asked that.
It's okay.
Question. Don't answer that.
Well, reluctantly, I am in South Florida, but depending on who asks, I'm from New York City. That's where my home is. Abby's heard this many times. I apologize. But yes, I'm in South Florida. Came of age in Orlando. Love, have at the right time of falling in love with basketball was when Shaq and Penny were huge. Yeah, so that my family was from Chicago. They were big Bulls fans. Obviously, Michael Jordan was huge, but I wanted to distance myself from them, and the Magic were everything. Yeah, I still love them.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting with like I'm starting to realize like the mathematics of conversations more. You know how it's like you'll have like an opportunity for maybe, but over the course of an hour talking to someone, there'll be 4 or 5 forks in the road where you get to ask a question. And I just chose like a completely stock question and totally just burned 3 minutes that could have been awesome, but I just ruined.
Oh, well.
They were awesome.
This is the pod, man. This is exactly what we want, is just to, similar to your pod where it's like, we're not asking the same questions every musician gets asked in press junkets and shit. Sure. Happy to talk basketball always. And there was something that I like the way you just said ruined. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I live pretty close to Canada. Maybe I sound weird.
Do you say sorry as well?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Do you follow the Milwaukee Bucks? Are they like important now nationally?
They're pretty big. Giannis is huge. Yeah. I like them. I like what they're doing. Small market team, doing it the right way, building from the ground up.
I cheered for their championship.
Yep. Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty wild to be in town for that. Just like 30,000 people jumping in the streets and like just around the arena. So it was pretty wild. And then cool. It was like a great run of like just people well behaved, and then I think right in the last game of the playoffs, somebody got shot like right downtown at a Bucks rally. We almost batted 1,000 there. Fourth highest crime rate in the country, people.
Really?
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Wow. It's because of all the bars.
I was gonna say, is it all the drinking?
Yeah, we have the 13 of the top 20 drunkest cities in America in Wisconsin.
Well, my family is also from Wisconsin, so can confirm.
Yeah, you know the drill.
Oh, man. All right. Real stupid question. And this is perfect because Abby mentioned feeding sandwiches to ghost bears. When you're making a sandwich, are you putting the condiments on the bread, or are you a psycho and put condiments on the meat?
Oh, yeah, that's funny to think about. No, I'm a bread. I don't know. I'm a breadman, a bread. I put it on the bread, and I hope to make more bread in the coming months on the next tour. But yeah, that's a good question.
So that's your Jewish last name, Irving Breadman.
My Jewish name is Brett Newski.
Yeah.
That's almost too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too easy. It's like we were gonna ask you a brewski question and we nixed it because I'm like, it's too easy.
Yeah, there's a beer now. I think it's in Wisconsin called Brewski, and I get like one message a day from people asking if it's like my beer that I like partner them with, and nope, no, it's not.
You should get them to sponsor your pod.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be cool to get like a beer. You know, a lot of people are doing that now. They get their like a beer made after their band or their thing or whatever. But it would just be such a nightmare to schlep beer around and try to sell it at shows. You know?
Yeah, just put Miller Lite in there, call it, and put a different label on it.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's how it's done. Do you guys have any good merch ideas for me? Like items?
That was it.
Bandanas.
Yeah, bandana. Yeah.
I like bandanas.
I don't think our crowd is like tough. We don't have like a tough guy rock. I don't know if they would wear bandanas. Maybe like a squirt gun or something. I thought could be cool.
Oh, that's fun. Although then like guns and then you're just going down a road.
Yeah, that was a pretty big '90s thing. Things have gotten a bit more sensitive. Tenacious D
fidget spinners.
What are those?
Fidget spinners,
those,
you know,
like,
those little
like
spinny things. Sure.
Put in your fingers.
Okay. I saw.
You've seen them.
Yeah, you definitely have.
You think those would sell?
No. You would schlep a box of those and end up giving them away.
You don't want to ask us. We end up schlepping all our shirts back every time. What do we know about merch?
What's on your shirt? Is it a cool shirt?
It's the well, our main one is the logo with the tape that says, bothering the band. It's a cassette tape.
It's hard to ship units, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. No one has cash either, so it's like you're like, I guess there's Venmo Abby.
But I think that could be good too, because people think of that as fake money. So they'll be like, oh, yeah, I got that. And then they just like hit a button and then they send you fake money that's converts into real money.
I bought a shed the other day with Venmo money, and I texted Ryan right after purchasing it and said that basically means it's free, right?
Yeah, totally.
I bought an entire shed.
Free shed.
Okay, we got some childhood questions. When you were a kid, did you hold people to literal time? Like if someone was like, Brett, I'll get to it in 1 second. And you're like, 1.
Ooh, good question.
Terrible question.
I am not like, I got to work on my patience, I think. And I think it's potentially getting worse because, I might be getting addicted to freedom at this point, just because, I've been single for the past year and just kind of have not a lot of people leaning on me in a sense of like family and stuff. So my parents are currently healthy and all that stuff. So I just hope I don't get too addicted to freedom, because it might be hard to come back from that. But yeah, I do want to get better at patience, and I kind of lost what I was talking about.
I'm just writing "addicted to freedom" down. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a song title. That's yours. You just said it. So.
I'll take it. You get 4%.
Oh, you can keep the 4%. We just want bandanas when you make them. When you were a kid, did you have chicken pox ever?
Yeah, I do. I did. I remembered it actually very vividly. I was like 4. I was on my friend. This girl lived in the backyard and she had a real cool swing set. And I remember like I had trouble going on the swing because my ass hurt so much. And then my mom looked at my ass and I had chicken pox, and pretty soon it was everywhere.
Ouch.
Is that people still get that? That seems like a prehistoric thing, like polio or something.
I don't know. I have a kid and I hope she doesn't get chicken pox.
Yeah.
You should know there's a vaccine. You should know whether or not you vaccinated her for it.
I don't know shit. I never had chicken pox as a kid. Despite growing up in a real shitty, no one give a shit household. And never had it.
Well, you might be good, because I feel like, if, the more you're out playing in the dirt and not giving a shit, the better your immune system is for life. Like my my ex-girlfriend, her dad grew up on like in Israel, in like the 50s, and they would find like dead bodies on the street and stuff, and rats. They were playing with rats and stuff. And like when they moved to Detroit, everyone on the block got polio except the two kids who grew up in Israel who were playing in like the sewers and stuff. So you're in good shape.
Oh my goodness. Are you double jointed at all anywhere?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Abby, are you double? You got a weird elbow?
No, I mean,
No?
I can do like the weird thing with my finger, but
Are there
I don't
any
think
like
that means
net gains to being double jointed?
I mean, aside from impressing your friends in like middle school, no. Maybe being able to like scratch your back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Net gains of being.
Next question. I got nothing.
Oh man. Do you have any lifelong boycott of anything? Is there anything you've sworn off forever?
Man, you're good at questions. I've never been asked any of these questions, so big respect. Yeah, I mean, I ate a fillet of fish once when I worked at McDonald's, and that was rough, and I boycotted those. But I don't know. I guess working at McDonald's was pretty cool. Other than that, you know, I talked to a girl for the first time when I was 14. That was big, and I got to clean the fry later, and I took out. Remember those? You ever seen those giant black like satanic vats of grease that they dump all the grease into over the course of a workday, and then you have to take it out to this like weird dumpster where like the toxic waste committee comes out and scoops it up. Did you work in fast food ever?
yes.
I worked at McDonald's. She worked at a couple.
Oh, you worked at Mickey D's. Respect.
Yeah, dude. Abby worked at Taco Bell. Where else? Sonic?
Taco Bell, Sonic, and Boston Market.
Oh, what's the most fun?
Taco Bell.
Why is that?
Boston Market.
You were stoned the whole time? Why was that cool?
Yeah, I was stoned. It was when all the Star Wars toys were coming out, even though those prequel movies sucked. It was still a lot of fun. And the Chihuahua, I worked there during the Chihuahua.
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
Taco Bell glory days, man. When the Mexican pizza was still good. And I was 14 or 15 and getting a paycheck for nothing.
What was
like,
the minimum wage then?
Jesus, probably 3 or 4 something.
Wow. Yeah, I remember it being $5.15.
Yeah, it was $5.15 at McDonald's, and I remember negotiating for $5.25.
No way.
Like a grown up. I was like,
You
I'll take this job for $5.25.
Oh
10
man.
cents.
The manager's just trying not to laugh. Sure.
You know what's funny? I feel like you'll identify with this. Is at the time I thought that man who I asked was like 100 years old. He was probably like 27.
Yep. You never know. Like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, my teacher is 59 and she's like 21.
But especially with fast food establishment management.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, how old are you now, Brett?
I'm 35.
Okay. All right, so we got a couple years on you. When's your birthday?
December 27th, 1986.
Okay, cool. So
Social security number is 39.
Don't say it.
Email. Mother's maiden name.
Oh goodness. Okay, dirt or sand? You can only pick one.
Dirt. I think dirt's good. Did you hear there was somebody like selling like organic boxed dirt on Amazon? That was like a news story a couple weeks ago, like for like $30 a pop or something. It just, they made a really cool box for it.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, busted. Anyway, sorry.
I love people. That's like the guy with the clothesline in the 80s or the 90s. Oh, he put a ad in like a magazine, and it was like a solar clothes dryer. And it was only like $49.99, and all these people sent in money, and then he just sent them a clothesline.
That's amazing.
That's good marketing, right there.
Technically not illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Brett Favre, Brett Radner, or Brett Butler?
I remember seeing Brett Butler in a magazine when I was a little kid, when I was like 6, and I was like, "Oh my god, a girl has the same name as me," and I cried to my mom. And So Brett Butler stinks. But Brett, I mean, I grew up on Brett Favre, so he was the man. And you know, I don't know. You start to meet people from Green Bay. Like I have some close friends from Green Bay now who grew up like with his kids and stuff. And then you start to hear like stories, you know, nothing incriminating, but just like totally just like lurking around the bars of Green Bay, like after games with Tremura, like trying to pick up all like the 20-year-old women they can. But I don't know. Perhaps it was a different era in the 90s. You can't do that shit anymore.
Oh, I know. No phones. Man, those guys could have a field day.
Well, yeah, maybe you saw that Tiger Woods documentary. That was pretty wild.
I didn't see the documentary, but I've read a lot about, I mean, him and, you know, his foibles.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I don't know, I want to give too much away, but it was like, it got to be such a runaway train. He was just like going to Vegas, and he had like couriers that would like tee up orgies for him. So he would have like, and there would be like all this role playing. And so he'd like lose his mind in Vegas, and it stayed on the down low for a while. But then these people started coming out and doing interviews, and he would go out and party with like Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, and they would just go rage in Vegas. And yeah, it's pretty dark, but it's a great film.
I know. I worked so growing up in Orlando, he lived in Orlando, and I like after high school moved to closer to part of town where he lived, and I worked at a restaurant next to a fancy restaurant that he would go into, and like the servers and bartenders would party together, and they would always say, all the pretty girls were like, yeah, he would come in and hit on all of us, and we're like, no way, like get out of here. And now we're like, oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah. That's his vice, apparently. They say.
Yeah. All right. Real dumb question. Tons of apples or an app? I don't even. I'm skipping this one. New skis or an old snowboard?
Oh, man, brutal. I've never been skiing. I've never been snowboarding. I guess I'll go snowboard because it's less items to look after.
Yeah. Abby, he answered correctly. Abby snowboards, that's why.
Respect. Yeah. I'm scared of extreme sports, you know. It's like, I don't know. Have you ever wiped out, Abby, and like run into a tree or anything?
Not into a tree, but I mean, I've taken some nasty spills for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Here and there.
I went sledding down an active volcano in Nicaragua. I was backpacking there when I was like 22, and there was this guy at one of these hostels that you gave him $20 and he would drive you up this the back of this active volcano in his truck, and then he'd give you a toboggan and you could slide down the other side, so you could look in. It wasn't like shooting lava into the air, obviously, but you could look deep into the middle of the volcano and see it like bubbling and steaming, and you could feel the heat. And then you'd walk to the top, and you just bum rush down the side, and people would wipe out sometimes, and you would see them like at the hostels, and they would be all bloody and cut up. It was pretty sketchy. So that was like the last extreme thing I did.
That takes the cake, man. That's not just like, hey, let's go snowboarding on this resort mountain. That's wild.
Not good. Yeah. I don't know.
That's a young man's game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had like thrown your back out? It's you really realize like how quickly life could be over, you know.
I'm suffering from, I'm old now, plantar fasciitis, and man, it just sucks getting old. And it's probably not as bad as the back being thrown out, but like not being able to walk because it feels like you're walking on glass bones really sucks. So.
Yeah, that's tough, man. All right. Well, you look very young and chipper, so.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. As a 90s kid, be honest, how cool is it to have a song with the dude from the Verve Pipe, another song with the dude from Bare Naked Ladies? I could go on and on. You've done a lot of cool shit that we identify with, and we need you to be honest how cool it is.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I don't know, like I think if you like stick around the game long enough and you kind of pay homage to your heroes, like they start to take notice, and I think they appreciate it. So, it's like, I don't know. I would love if some kid who's 15 would reach out and like, I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes. Like I think that would be a cool thing for them. So, and that the Panda was a very unique time, whereas like I could set up collaborations with people much easier. They weren't out on tour, people weren't as swamped. So I definitely tried to do what I could artistically during the shutdown and everything. But yeah, I got a song coming out with Matthew Cause from Nada Surf at the top of next year, and he's like one of my favorite musicians. So yeah, it's cool, man. I just trying to enjoy the cool moments.
That's so badass.
It is very badass.
You're badass. Thank you. Thanks for liking our band. I'm really flattered.
Love it. This is an honor. So that said, when you were just a freshman, did you know what you wanted to do with your life?
Yeah, it was just to avoid freshman kill day, which is a real thing in our high school, where like seniors would just beat the shit out of freshmen. It was pretty horrifying.
And Dazed and Confused?
Yeah, I got strangled out in the hallway in between classes, and like my books exploded everywhere. And I was just like on the floor getting choked out. And people were just walking past me, like staring in horror or laughing. And it was really traumatic. So that, yeah, I mean, high school is just trying to survive high school. But yeah, freshman year kind of stank, but I feel like as each year got a little bit better. But we just had our high school, it's kind of a low culture zone, a lot of bullies per capita. I remember being afraid to tell people I was in a band because they would call me like a total pussy or whatever, like fucking pussy. Like that was a classic.
Man, so growing up in Orlando, we've talked about this a lot, where we hated it. Like we couldn't wait to get out. I couldn't wait to move to New York. But looking back now, I hear these stories of like people from Texas and the Midwest, and you're like, oh my God, it was so not like that.
Oh, good.
Like, yeah, we had our moments, but there was nothing like that. That's wild.
Yeah. And I remember the next day, like the principal came on the speaker because I told my parents about it, and like they were so horrified, and I think they called the school because the next day, like at 8 a.m., the principal came on and he's like, students, please be aware there is no such thing as freshman kill day. We do not endorse freshman kill day. And then I thought like some bully was gonna like find me, and then like found out like it was me that ratted out freshman kill day. So anyway.
All right, we're sticking with this theme. It's 2001. You have a burned CD in your car and it starts skipping. Do you change it or do you let it ride it out to see if it stops skipping?
I would just like start ferociously punching the CD deck. That's probably what I would do. Yeah, but you play CDs, man? It's crazy, like how easy they skip.
Yeah, I love CDs. Still have a bunch of CDs.
What's in your player now?
I'm not kidding. Hold on.
Let me guess. 16 Stone by Bush.
Oh, that's a good one. But this is the CD that's closest to me right now.
Oh my God, that's like one of my favorite albums of all time.
Isn't that fucking insane?
Yeah, that album was huge. I've probably seen Gin Blossoms 15 times.
That's who I lost the CD now. That's who you got to play with next.
We opened for them. We did a one-off with them 2 summers ago. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I got my dad backstage. He got to meet Gin Blossoms because my pops and I got into the band together. So he would drink rum and cokes, and then he would put on Hey Jealousy and like play air guitar, and then I would just sit on the floor and just rock out. It was great stuff, great memories. And now you can see him for free at like all these great little fairs and festivals around Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
I love it.
I love that shit.
They probably never come to Wyoming, Abby. Like you probably don't get many shows, huh?
No, not. No, I go to Salt Lake City mostly for music.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Brett, who's your favorite comedian? And you can answer. You could go all time, current, whatever. It's up to you.
I think Norm Macdonald was pretty important for me. Norm Macdonald, and I think I really like the comedian Joe List. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I love Joe List. I've been really into Stavros lately. Have you checked out his special? He is unbelievable. I think he's going to be massive. He's a force. I think he's unstoppable as long as he doesn't like have a heart attack, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. So we have friends of the pod and good friends of ours who are comics in New York. We had David Cross on the show.
Oh, cool.
So we're like comedy adjacent. We're big comedy nerds. Joe List, he's a big music geek. And so every time we put out a episode that we know he likes, I tag him in or I send it to him in hopes. He's big time though. He's
gotten pretty big.
Yeah, he's doing big. And then Mark Normand is also up there. Love that.
Oh dude. Yeah, Mark's awesome.
Yeah. Bargatze is my favorite.
Their podcast. Do you listen to their podcast Tuesdays with Stories?
Every week. It's arguably my favorite.
You're Tuesday? Oh,
I am. Arguably it's my favorite podcast.
Oh man,
dude,
I would say the same. We're gonna be best friends.
Oh, I knew it. I told you, Abby.
Yeah.
I told you. Oh man. I'm currently in the middle of this week's. I'm about 30 minutes left. Because I only listen to it while I drive. So.
Oh, are you still talking about Tuesdays? Okay.
Yes.
I blacked out for a second.
Yes. Okay. What do you call the little skin that peels off your fingers right there? What do you call
that? I don't know. Fake sliver? I don't know. What is it?
I'm curious. I think, Abby, what do you call it?
Hangnail?
I always called it a hangnail, but I don't think that's what.
No, a hangnail is actually like a part of your nail, right?
I think it's like a broken nail that's like hanging off.
Okay, now we're gonna ask Google.
Such stupid.
Maybe it's like an alien mutant sixth finger that's trying to come out. You know, that's a stretch.
Sometimes we just ask questions we just want to know the answer to, and every time. I get one of those things. You pull it and it goes all the way up to your elbow and it hurts.
Oh, yeah,
and stings.
That's a hangnail.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So we were right.
Oh, whatever.
You heard it here, folks.
What other weird questions you got?
Do you still have the kazoo?
Yeah, strangely enough, you bring that up. Last weekend, somebody gifted me a giant, like full-sized kazoo, like this big, like it looked like a dildo. It was like a dildo kazoo, and I played it once on stage, and I threw it out in the crowd, and it hit somebody in the head. They weren't looking. I felt pretty bad, but yeah, I like the kazoo. I still perform with the kazoo. I play. I often forget the kazoo, so I kind of learned to play kazoo with my face. I just kind of turn on some extra reverb, and it sounds kind of cool, just like, you know, fake kazoo.
Fake zooing it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have asked this when we were on the high school question. Do you know what? And do you know how to do this? Where you would do something with your tongue, and a couple spots of saliva would shoot out.
Oh, that's called gleeking.
Yes. Well, we called it, Abby, what did we call it?
Snake.
We called it snaking. So I have it written down here. Do you know how to gleek or snake?
No, I can't do it on command, but I had this buddy in high school, Lucas Weichland. He was a funny dude. And he would be in detention most of the time, but he could gleek on command, and he would gleek on kids.
Oh, it's so gross now.
Savage. But yeah, it's pretty weird, but it was, you can't believe it. There was this other kid, Adam Cool. He could sneeze on command. So he could do like 8 sneezes in a row. He would just go, choo, choo, choo. So he'd be in the back of the bus, just like sneezing.
Why?
8 combo sneeze.
Is he still alive?
I think so. I think he's like he probably works on Wall Street or something. Like goofed up his brain. I don't know.
Oh, that's hilarious. Is your phone on vibrate, or is it on ring?
It's on silent at all times.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Thank
It
you.
take like 6 hours to respond to things. You know, remember that book 4 Hour Work Week with Tim Ferriss wrote?
Yeah.
Remember that book?
Mm-hmm.
I read that 11 years ago, and that was one of the big takeaways. Like, just check your phone and your email once or twice a day. I try to do that.
Oh, that's good. I check like 4 emails 400 times a day.
Yeah,
My
I mean,
phone
for some
has to
guys.
ring. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I what'd you say there, Abby?
Oh, I just said my phone has to ring. I have to be able to hear it.
What's your day job?
I run a hotel.
Okay, right on. Do you have like any stories of complete delinquents that you've had to like kick out or anything?
Yes, recently. Tell them.
Ryan, you're way too excited about that. I did have to kick out a dysfunctional family last week, and it involved multiple calls to the police.
Wow.
Yeah. The police came. The people decided they would stay away from each other. They didn't. So I called them again. Then the guy ran away. Then he came back. So I called them again.
Brutal.
And then I became a victim because in order to get him trespassed so he could never come back to my hotel, there has to be a victim. So I was a victim of a breach of peace.
Oh, nice. You got some legal skills there. How did you guys become best friends?
Abby, I'll let you
Middle
take that one
school
too.
and
Middle
Orlando
school.
Magic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That warms my heart.
Yeah, we've been friends for, I don't know, 27 years.
That's so cool.
Music
when did you know
geeks.
You were going to be best friends?
You know, that puka shell necklace, those tiny plucked eyebrows. I was like, man, I'm in.
Did you date ever? Did you ever date?
Kind of, yeah.
Nice. And then you broke up, and then you're still best friends. That's amazing.
It was 8th grade.
Oh, that's cool.
It was the summer between 8th and 9th grade. And we went and saw Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, that was big. I think I've never seen that still.
An underrated 90s teen flick. Great soundtrack, great cast.
Ethan Embry.
Yeah, that guy who plays Nick Papagiorgio in Vegas Vacation.
Ethan Embry.
Oh, that's him? I never knew his real name.
Yep.
I just call him Nick Papagiorgio.
Oh, man, that's a great movie. You know what's so great about that movie is Randy Quaid's character is wearing a belt of beers.
Oh, is he?
Don't acknowledge he has wearing a belt of bush cans.
I love that scene where he goes, where he's in the buffet line.
Yes.
And he's like, what is that, chicken? He's like, no, this is chicken. Want some? And it's like purple, like soup. Yeah.
Give me some of the yellow. And don't get cheap on me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quoting Vegas Vacation right now.
Classic.
Okay.
Yeah. Randy Quaid, is he brothers with Dennis Quaid?
Yes.
Wow, that's such an interesting combo.
And apparently a crazy person now, like a crazy grifter or something.
Because Dennis Quaid is like the quintessential like commercially corporate hot looking guy, and Randy Quaid just looks like this drunk maniac, But I think that Randy Quaid had the better career, right?
Not now.
It went very downhill at some point, not too long ago.
But he saved the president.
He did.
Oh, he did. That is true.
I cried at that in Independence.
He saved my president.
Bill Pullman.
Oh, I watched that movie recently.
Wouldn't that be? This would be a great T-shirt. Remember those George Bush shirts in the early 2000s that said "Not my president"?
Yeah.
What if it was just Bill Pullman
or Bill Paxton.
Bill Pullman, not my president. That could be big.
Let's do it. Do you have a screen printing machine?
No, but I just had dinner with a guy who does, like just before I called you.
Let's do it. There's your merch. All right. You said you were single. That was a perfect question. Would you rather date a girl who dabbles in crystal meth or a girl who loves crystals?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Who's really into crystals?
I mean, I don't know. Would you rather be vegan or have a terminal illness? No, I don't know. It's one of those.
Write that
It's
down.
funny, and I don't know how to answer it. But I mean, if you only did crystal meth once, you know, it can't be that addicting, right? I would date the crystal meth lady. That's actually, now that I think about it, I might go crystal meth if we're talking like just a couple sessions.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right. Like a girl who's like really into crystals and has them everywhere and shit.
Yeah, or has like a giant wall of like lotions and potions and like 74 pairs of shoes. I think that could be a red flag.
Here, come over. These are my lotions and my potions.
I mean, you know.
That's another song.
But who am I to judge?
Do you have any lotions or potions?
Yeah, I have a lot of sunscreen. I have Trader Joe's lotion, and I have I think that's it.
TJ's. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Asking for a friend, how do you go about hosting a living room or backyard show with Brett Newski?
Oh, you just call me, and then I come to your house.
Like, do I have to pay for airfare and shit like that?
Generally not. We generally just try to route it into a tour. So yeah, we'll I'm trying to do most things with my band these days, which has been, I think it's just been a fun new look. But yeah, I'd love to rock your backyard.
I was thinking Abby's backyard, get you to Wyoming, put on a show.
That would be insane.
Maybe for the mural unveiling.
That would be a great that would be a really great way on the way to go play Seattle, because there's nothing on that run. We'll play Abby's backyard.
I am on the way to nowhere.
Yeah.
Really that's why no one comes here.
Yeah, that's tough, but that's fun. I think I mean, I've always been into playing like weird spaces or weird venues, or it's kind of the way forward, you know, especially as like, you know, Live Nation buys up a lot of venues. It can be harder to get in some of the more classic rooms when they're buying up the smaller rooms. So if we're like going through and we don't have we don't draw massively in Kansas City or something, we can throw a show, like a DIY show at someone's space or someone's art studio, and then we cut out the middleman and, you know, do $15-$20 tickets, have a PA in the van, and we can get, you know, 80 people in the door. It can be a pretty kick-ass show, and it kind of keeps us alive in the gaps of tours where we know some of the cities are tougher.
That's very cool. Love it. We're gonna make this happen at one point.
Okay, cool.
For certain. Okay, what's the hardest part about being a person, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think just how unpredictable like your brain is. You know, it's like some days you're up and some days you're down, and that can be quite frustrating because it's your left and your right and up and down, and it's just hard. It's kind of hard to keep track of it. I kind of wish I had more consistent brain chemistry sometimes, but I'm also just grateful to, you know, have just, I guess, just the right enough amount of like depression or anxiety or whatever, where it doesn't like riddle me to the couch for days at a time. Like I have friends where that can be pretty intense and really heavy, and it just like totally takes them out of work and stuff. So I've always like used work or artwork or creating stuff as like kind of a shovel to dig myself out of the grave of you know, when you get the blues or feel shitty or kind of feel like you're seeing in black and white or whatever. So yeah, that's what I would say there.
It's very well said, to be honest. And I know both sides of it. Like you said, we all have friends who have the debilitating side, but to have a healthier side along with an outlet, I think is the key, the gift.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, like I have some pretty severe mental health that runs in the family and stuff. So it's I don't know. I think I'm in for some challenges ahead, but it's nothing I can't tackle, you know?
Yeah, man. Well, we love your book, and, you know, we love what you're doing. The next dumb question we have is, do you follow us on Instagram?
I don't think I do yet, but I will do that.
You better. And this is also, and you can use this as well. It's our way of shoehorning into the listeners. Everyone follow Bothering the Band on Instagram.
Yeah, do it.
Do it. Okay. So we love your pod. Very similar sensibilities as far as non-conventional questions. You've had Frank Turner, who we've had, MLV from Delta Spirit, who we've had, Joe List, who we love. And so this is a great question. Who is on your bucket list to interview? Live, dead, whatever, no rules. And what would you ask them?
It'd be cool to get, I feel like Charles Barkley would be pretty funny because he's like a natural comedian. And, I think that'd be a good challenge as an interviewer because he'd totally probably try to rip me apart. And I feel like I could hold my own. So yeah, I'd like to get Charles Barkley on. I gotta get back on. I don't know. I gotta get back on. See who's putting out albums and see who I want to talk to. Do you have any recommendations of people I would gel with?
Oh, David Cross, Tom Arnold.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Ken Reed too.
Is he a comedian?
He's a comic. He was in a punk band in the early 90s called 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. He big pop culture guy.
Okay.
We'll have to think about if anyone comes to mind. Even after this, we'll send them your way.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So, what would you ask Charles Barkley, just off the top of your head?
I would ask him how cool it must have been to just get into fights in the middle of games and not get suspended more than 1 or 2 games in the 90s. Remember, there was so many more brawls. I would ask him what it was like to fight Shaq. And if that made them way better friends now, stuff like that. If you have time tonight, get on YouTube and watch NBA's Greatest Fights. It's the best compilation. It's so fun.
I love it. I was watching. This is probably either last year or last season, or the year before. On NBA TV during the day, they'll play old games, hardwood classics. And I was watching one. It was Lakers and I want to say Pistons. It was someone from the East, and they were James Worthy threw multiple punches, landed multiple punches, not thrown out of the game. I was like, oh my goodness, bring
that is
that
insane.
Back.
Just full on assault in public. Yeah, just keep balling.
Oh yeah, get out there. Shut up and dribble.
He always wore the rec spec, so he had an advantage because if people punched him, they'd probably break their knuckles on his goggles.
Oh yeah, they're probably thick glass.
I never understood how those guys could wear those face molder masks. Remember they were those plastic masks?
So sweaty.
Oh, brutal.
So Rip Hamilton, so sweaty.
Yeah,
that was his thing.
He rocked that his whole career, huh?
Yeah.
He must have broken his nose early on or something.
He broke his orbital bone twice. And then they said if he did it, he'd have to have major reconstructive surgery. So
Jesus.
And then they won. So he was, I'm sure superstition played into it.
What if they win the NBA title and he just breaks it partying after the game?
Oh, that would be so terrible.
Partying in Auburn Hills.
Maybe he wears the mask out at night. Maybe his wife likes it. I don't know. That's a classic joke. That somebody told me this joke once. There's only one item of clothing I keep on when I'm having sex, and then the person goes, "What?" And then you go, "My mask."
It's an NBA mask.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's a Rip Hamilton.
It's not like a Beavis and Butthead mask.
No, it's a signed Rip Hamilton face molder mask.
I love the Pistons. I
feel like I really bombed tonight on this podcast.
No, man, this has been fucking great.
I think maybe start at 5 minutes in because I stank in the first 5 minutes. Maybe a fade in.
Okay.
Oh, we could talk basketball forever. I'm looking forward to the season. Go Magic.
Stockton to Malone.
Yeah. Malone, real creep.
Yeah, what happened there?
He dated a 17-year-old when he was playing.
No
one talks about this.
Yeah. Well, it's Utah.
It's true. I've never been to Utah. Abby has many times.
Yes, I like how like in the NBA there was all these guys that just looked like accountants, like John Stockton or Mark Price. They all had the same like swoop over comb over, and they looked like total jabronis, but they just killed everyone. They're amazing.
Love 90s basketball. I have a Patrick Ewing jersey somewhere. That's fine. All right, Brett, what's next for you? Tell us what you're working on, what you want to promote.
I'm trying to finish this painting. Check this out. I'm making this giant painting. I don't know if I can fit it on the screen, but I'm almost done with it.
Cool.
It's like an abstract cityscape. And then we're going on little mini tours, and then in the fall we're touring the Dirty South and back. So we're going to Texas and back if anyone lives down there, and Oklahoma or any of those spots. I think we're playing a little bit in Iowa, and then and then I'm gonna tomorrow I'll probably go jump in the lakes, go swimming in the lake. It's really cold. I think it's good for you. Probably drink some coffee and read a Henry Rollins book, and that will be it.
Oh, which book is
it? I'm working through the classic Get in the Van right now.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a bunch of them. My favorite one by him is called Smile, You're Traveling. Have you ever checked that one out?
I haven't read
Is that the one that's like poetry and shit?
No, I don't dig I don't like any of that stuff. But when he like goes and travels around Africa by himself and journals it, it's really cool. I think that's one of my all-time favorite books. But if you're into Rollins, you should give me one or two book recommendations.
Oh man, I'm reading a Seinfeld book right now. But I love all the punk rock. I mean, anything punk rock I love. Abby just got a book. What's the book you got in LA?
John Cooper Clarke. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yes, actually. John Cooper Clarke is I don't know, punk rock poet, I guess, really. He is an amazing writer, and he's from the UK and came up like in the 70s with it. You should look him up. You would enjoy him.
Okay, John Cooper Clarke. I'll check him.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Oh, as a 90s kid, before this, I read something called Last Night at the Viper Room, and it was about River Phoenix and 90s Hollywood. Again, it talks a lot about before cell phones and those guys, and before Paris Hilton and all that shit being famous was more important than, at being a working actor and shit like that.
And remember what a crazy thing to like be in the last like pre-internet generation. Remember when you were a kid and you would like see a girl you liked and you would be like, I'll never see that girl again, ever again, because I don't have a phone. I'll never. That's it. That was it. Mm-hmm. That was sad and exciting, but mostly sad.
I must talk to her, or they will disappear.
That's
it. And I never did. I never had any sack. So.
And if you do, then you have to call her house, and her parents are going to answer, and you have to ask for her, and they want to know who you are, and it's a whole thing. Then you got to talk to her dad while she comes downstairs.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
You know what's real fun to do is if you take a picture of a group of people, especially if it's your phone, you take a photo and then you don't let them see it because everyone wants to see it and see how they look. You're like, nope. 20 years ago, you'd have to wait a week and a half to see this photo.
Oh, yeah. I get that for sure. Yep. You mean like when you take a photo of a group and then they want to see it to make sure they didn't look stupid?
And then you have 6 like people being like, can you take it over?
Do it again.
Oh, yeah.
My elbow looks weird.
You can't show them. I never show them. I often like forget all these photos I took of like me and my friends, and because I just how that is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, that's our show. What a great way to.
I had a good time.
We can't thank you enough, man. This has been so much fun. Again, we love your pod. Dirt from the Road, right?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thanks, Ryan.
No problem. And
Abby. Why, Abby, you're called Martha Sunshine. That's your screen name?
Yes, that's my AOL Instant Messenger if you need to find me later.
That's awesome. Respect.
You might get my away message, but I check it every now and again. So
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Her away message says, "I heart Rip Hamilton."
Nice. I thought it might. Well, you're actually our active booking agent now in Wyoming, so congratulations.
Oh
Excellent.
yeah,
I love it.
I knew you would segue this pod into a gig in real music.
I just to break into the Wyoming. That's why I'm here.
Oh man, good challenge to have. We're gonna get you there. I'm gonna get you to Florida at some point.
Florida's awesome, man. We're coming in May, so we'll try to connect in Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, cool, man. Do you have dates yet, or just whenever you put it up? I'll find you.
We don't have them quite yet, but it'll be sometime in mid-May.
Oh, very cool. I'll have to have you.
Yeah, would be great to meet in real life.
Absolutely. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening.
What is it?
I don't know. We'll cut when we cut. Dude, thanks so much. This has been a great.
Yeah,
cool. We're such big fans, and you did not disappoint.
I flinch every time you bat your eyes at me. My only self-defense, it's that little rabbit hole under that white picket fence of yours. Concrete around my feet. I'm a poster child for every mafia story and scene. On every red light, rolling stop signs, you and I could never crash. Never mind, oh never mind, oh never mind. Hear those famous last words, it's not you, it's me. I love you, we will be fine. Never mind, oh never mind, oh never mind. Never mind, oh never mind, oh never mind. Under a sky that's burning me up, you gave me ozone. Hear our friends say we're invincible, but they don't know the air to us feels so Marlboro. I thought I could keep you around. Oh God, I'm so clever. Never mind, oh never mind, never mind. Never mind, oh never mind, never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind.